Good afternoon. You know, when we say piece of cake, when we need something like it's really easy, but since I was a little kid, I used to listen to this story about how my uncle became rich in family reunions. Here's a picture of some family reunions we had before. Well, some of my relatives used to add more details to the story, while some of them they just mentioned this famous phrase, a piece of cake and a glass of milk. So my uncle Tito, his picture is back there too, is the only one who can tell the real story, because of course he was the one who gave a whole new meaning to that expression, piece of cake, by adding a glass of milk to it. So in the 1950s, it's a well-known fact that there was a huge migration from Puerto Rico to the United States. So my uncle Tito is the one that who went to Chicago and started working for a relative of him who owned a mini market over there in Chicago. So the bad thing that he didn't know to speak English at all. So when he used to go to a bakery that was close to the mini market, he was just able to point to the piece of cake, to the attendant. He just point to the piece of cake and then make a sign like to get something to drink. And then the attendant gave him like a glass of milk. But eventually, he could learn English and be able to ask for a piece of cake and a glass of milk. That's where the inspiration comes. After a few more years, he managed to save some money and make some more other sacrifice, like living in the back of a little room in the same mini market. And he was able to save some money, and then he made an investment and started an exportation company, exporting pantyhose from the United States to Puerto Rico. The name of the company was Leather Distributors. That way, my father, he could work for him at the same time. That's why this is so important to me, because my father was able to save some money and then build his first house. Here's the picture too. It's passing around. And my godfather, he made some money, through the years. But in the 1990s, the market declined. But he was aware of it, and he was able to sell the company for $500,000. That's when he sold the company. Then he bought this house, which the picture is in there too. He bought that house and gave it to my dad as a gift for his hard work, so around 20 years, something like that. So, this is a really good inspiration for me, because when my relatives are talking about that, make me feel like I want to be like my uncle too. So, it's just a story of success, and, even the sacrifice, but he has success after all this. That's why he made that expression, a piece of cake and a glass of milk, because it means like it's not that easy like it seems. It's a piece of cake, but then you need a glass of milk too, because you need to drink something. So, just think about this story. The next time you think something is like really easy, just think about my uncle on this story before you say something is like a piece of cake. Any questions?